Hi everyone, this is Ricky with Bromero Cards. Thank you for stopping by and I hope you're having a great day. On today's card, we're going to be using some dies from the Ton stamps. And what we're going to be using today is here on the camera. We're going to be using the lovely Hibiscus layering dies. We're going to be using an embossing folder. I just happen to use this one. You could use any one that you would like. I just like the shapes. We're also going to be using the Mini Sentiments die set. This die set is amazing. I love it. And I wish I would have shown you how to use this on this video, but I did not. We're also going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Greenleaf, Lawn Fawn Noble Fur, Lawn Fawn Mermaid, Gina K Turquoise Sea, and Lawn Fawn Peacock. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you guys each one of the layers. I'm going to spread them out here so that you could actually see them. The first one here is the base layer. The second one that we choose is going to be the second layer, which has the first design to the flower. The next one is the third layer, which is the final layer for the flower. And then the fourth one here is the outline of the flowers. We also have the two pieces for the leaves here. So I guess I'm pointing them out here for you instead of saying it as I go through. But anyway, so I got all those pointed out for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the card now. So the first color paper we're going to use is the lightest color, which is Lawn Fawn Mermaid. And basically what I'm going to do is just go ahead and lay this flat onto the cardstock. Now this piece would not fit on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I'm just going to get that cut out of this piece of paper here, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the next layer. The next piece of paper that we're going to be using is the Gina K Turquoise Sea. And that will fit on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I didn't have to cut anything there. And then we're going to use, lastly, the darkest color, which is Lawn Fawn Peacock. And this is a smaller piece, so we're not going to have to cut anything major. This is a random piece of paper that was left over, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that placed onto the cardstock. The next layer we're going to be using some holographic paper, and this is from Aaron Lee Creates, and this is the silver holographic paper, and I love this paper. Look at that, it's so amazing. It's not even catching what it really looks like in real life. Like, this is so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and get this cut so that I can do the last layer. And I thought I cut this at 5 1/2 and it looks like it, but then I had two different size pieces. So maybe the paper is a little bit longer than 11 inches probably. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out of the holographic paper. Again, this will not fit on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. So you're going to have to cut this out of a bigger piece of paper. So we're going to go ahead and stick all of these through the die cutting machine. I'm not going to bore you with what that looks like here. So basically I'm going to stick all these pieces through the die cutting machine, and then I'll be taking them out. The last one here I wanted to show you because this is the holographic paper from Aaron Lee Creates, and I just wanted to show you like how beautiful this paper is. And all these little pieces that fall out, I'm keeping them because they could be used in shaker cards, to cut small stars out of other little sets. The paper is just too beautiful to throw away, and I will not throw away any of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this taken out, and then we'll go ahead and start on the next step. The next step is to actually do the leaves, and for this we're going to be using Lawn Fawn Noble Fur and Simon Says Stamp Greenleaf, and we're just going to follow the same process that we did with the flowers. There's two sets of leaves here, so they're all connected together. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get that out onto the papers, and then we'll go ahead and get those die cut out, and then we'll be back with the rest. So now we're going to go ahead and put the leaves together. This is pretty simple. It's not that hard. What you do is you just match up the corners of the leaves, and then you just glue them down. So here you can see that I matched up the bottom point of the leaves. I'm going to use some art glitter glue here. I can't say enough about this glue. I freaking love it. I think I'm going to start doing like different voices in here. So maybe one day I'll like start talking like this and stuff. I don't know what that was. That was like a valley girl and a country person together. Not for sure what happened. But anyway. here we go. We have the first leaf here, and then we're going to go ahead and just do the exact same thing with this leaf. There's a little pointy area that you have to match up in order to get this to line up, and it's pretty easy. You'll see that it's just the point at the very bottom near where my finger is, and we're just going to lay that down. Now we're going to start working on the flower. And basically we're going to put this together. It's the same thing, and this one's actually pretty easy because the outline of the flower pretty much matches the base of the flower. So you really can't mess this up because you really need, everything just lines up pretty simply. I'm going to take some of the glue here and I'm just going to go around the outside of the flower. I'm not very perfect about this. I just kind of lightly put it on. I also, you'll see throughout the video, I kind of do some dots sometimes. I don't really have a way of doing this. The line is so thin that it's kind of hard not to get glue everywhere. But I thought I was going to struggle with this, and how did I get this on perfect? Like, how did that even happen? First of all, my head did not show up in the video like it always does when I need to get something lined up. But it just happened, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited about that. The next thing we're going to do is put on the third layer of the flower. And it's the same thing here. We're just going to put a little bit of glue on the petals here. And we're going to line that up. And then here you'll see where I am lining up the little piece here that is on where I was pointing to. You line that up and it just fits perfectly. And then we have that set up. And just like all the other pieces, we're going to go ahead and get this glued down. I just put a bunch of dots around the center of it. And then I realized there were a couple pieces that did not come out with the die when I actually cut it out. So I had to use my craft knife here to go ahead and get those items out. I also had a little issue with this top layer here, so I had to work with it a little bit. I did not show you the whole thing, but it was a process. I did not get it on correctly the first time, so then I was having to pull it off and try to save it, and then there's glue all over the top of it. But as you'll see on the end here, I believe I do take a gum eraser, or I believe that's what it's called, and I just take off the glue from the holographic paper. So I saved it. It wasn't so bad. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the leaves placed on here, and this is pretty easy as well. We're just going to flip over the flower, and then we're going to add glue to the little areas, and then we're going to go ahead and put the leaves on. And also I just do little dots like I had done earlier. Probably should have put a little more on because the leaves tend to not stick as well, because they're kind of sticking up off the frame because they're also on the base layer of the flower. But you just put some glue on there and squeeze it on, and it'll stay. Probably just add a little more glue than what you think you need. And then here you're going to see me use the gum eraser to go ahead and get some of this glue off the holographic paper. I just sped this up a little bit because it's a little boring. But pretty much you just use this eraser and it takes out all the gunky goo from the glue that is on the holographic paper. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get this embossing folder through the Big Shot here so that we can go ahead and get some really awesome textured paper. I'm just going to fix the sandwich here so that I can make sure it works. And we're going to go ahead and get that through. And now we're going to put this onto a card base that is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and then folded at 4 1/4, and it makes a top folding card, a top folding horizontal card. We're going to go ahead and get this really glued up on the back. Because it is textured, we want to make sure that it stays on the card base. And we're going to go ahead and stick that on to the card base. And you'll see that there's a little bit extra sticking out. I think my card base may have been a little longer than it should have been, but it's a simple fix. All we do is we get the scissors and we go ahead and cut off that end, and then we could just make it the right size. Now we're going to go ahead and put some 3M foam tape on the back of the flower so that it is popped off of the flower here. And I have to turn this over back and forth to make sure that I'm not putting any extra foam tape that's going to hang off the card, because that's how we're going to make this card. We're not going to cut anything off the sides. I'm just going to make a bigger envelope so that it could fit in there. Here I am releasing the last bit of the paper, and we're going to go ahead and get this placed onto the card. And as you'll see, it does hang off, which I think it makes it look amazing. I love that look. You know, sometimes I'll cut things off, but this is so beautiful that I just could not see myself doing that. And now we're going to use some of the mini sentiment dies. I already had a bunch of these cut out, so I didn't show you how to use these in this video, unfortunately. But this is in a really amazing set. It comes with a shadow and the thin word that goes on top of it. And it's a really cool set, and it cuts out all of them out at one time. So I decided I wanted to use Congrats, but I didn't know if I wanted to use the white shadow or the black shadow. And then I decided to go ahead with the black one because it shows up a little more and it doesn't really blend into the cardstock that is behind the flower. So basically what I'll do with this is I'll put a little bit of foam tape on the very end there and then some glue on the second part. And then once I get that glued down, the card's finished. I want to thank you guys for coming along and watching this video today. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please like it, leave a comment, and also subscribe to my channel because I'd really appreciate that. You can also find me on all the social medias by looking for Bro Merrill cards. Look how beautiful this is while it's moving. Wow, that looks so amazing. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great week. Thank you for watching and thank you for supporting me. I truly, truly appreciate that. And it means more to me than you guys will probably ever know. So thank you and goodbye and have a good one.